Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to make this DIY Dollar Tree farmhouse signage with inspirational message. We're going to need a piece of foam board, a cutting tool like a straight edge. We're going to use the antique birch contact paper, but you can also use the pine if you choose, a scissor, white craft paint. This is not from the Dollar Tree, a foam brush, and some sort of signage. These are the wall decals that you can find at the Dollar Tree. I've been collecting them for quite some time, and now I'm just trying to decide which one to use. You need to determine if you're going to use a long one or one that's meant to be hung in a square to figure out which shape sign you're going to use. So if you guys saw the sample in the beginning, you know I'm going to pick the one on the top. And it says, a good laugh is sunshine to a home. So now, according to the directions, this one is going to be set in a square. So I'm measuring now its maximum width in each of the two sides, and then I'm going to do its combined height. So I'm going to measure the sticker border and then double it to make sure that I know that it needs to be at least 8 by 9 is what the sticker layout is going to be. So I decided to make a 15-inch square. I just thought that would look really cute. I like that way the sign looks with the sign floating in the middle of the board. So now I'm just measuring from the factory edge, 2 marks at 15, and then I'm going to draw a straight line, connect them. Okay. If you guys have been around before, you've seen me do this. I like to draw the lines and then I use the straight edge to cut, just so that it can keep me from moving the ruler. And then 15 inches in the other direction, and do the same thing, 2 marks, and then connect the 2 marks. Bob Vila always says, measure twice, cut once, LOL. Just kidding. So now I'm just taking the box cutter and the straight edge and my protective mat so I don't cut my table. And I'm using a sharp new blade that I snapped off, and just cut that out. Okay. And now we're going to open up our contact paper. We're going to lay it out. We're going to cut 18-inch square. This wrapping paper is 18 inches wide already, so I basically just have to cut a piece that's 18 inches long. And that'll give us 1.5 inches or fold over on each side. Okay? All right. And then if you've seen my country crate tutorial, I'll link it here and link it in the description box. You've learned how to wrap stuff in contact paper before, but I'm going to show you guys a really quick up-close tutorial here in a second, okay? So you basically are going to peel back one of the corners, use the measurements on the inside of the contact paper, and then when you want to turn it over, you always want to roll contact paper where you can see and rub the bubbles as it goes. I love to go from a corner and then pull the paper out and rub as I go, and that's it. You can work those bubbles out, but you know the wood grain is supposed to be natural, so if you have a couple and you can work them into wrinkles to work them into like wood grain, that'd be okay too. Okay, and then we're just going to fold over the edges one side at a time. Okay, and let me show you guys up close and personal and slower. So I'm going to show you on this miniature version. I just cut a small piece of wood, and we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to peel the paper in one corner to expose about 1/8 of a corner, and we're going to line our piece of board or whatever we're covering in contact paper on the grid and press down that one corner. We're going to turn it over and rub as we pull the paper out to make sure we get out all the bubbles. It might stick to your work surface there, so that's okay. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to pick one of the sides to start with, and we're going to fold over, and we're going to run our fingers here. So you can see I'm running my fingers along the crease, along the edges, to get a nice sharp corner. And here is the somewhat tricky part. So we're going to cut off the corner of the contact paper that's left remaining, And we're going to make a thin strip from the finished side corner back, and we're going to lay it over the edge of the foam core. See there? And just want to make sure you trim it and doesn't, if you accidentally make it too wide, just trim it before you fold the edges over. So here we go. We're just going to do it to the other side. And what this is going to do is it's going to hide all the white. And then we're going to fold that third side over like we did the first two. Oh, hold on. I made a mess. Let me clean up my mess first. So now we're going to go ahead and fold that third side over. And we're going to do the same thing where we're going to run our fingers across the edges to create a crease to make it nice and square. And we're going to repeat the same on the last and final side. So you cut off the extra. Okay. I love working with contact paper. It's so wonderfully sticky. And then you're going to cut yourself that little strip that's going to cover over the very edge. And I'm kind of running the scissor in the corner of the front of the good side, basically. And then we're going to do the same to the opposite side. Fold them in before we fold that third edge over, okay? And unless you're making this where you can see the back, it doesn't really make too much difference what the back looks like, okay? And now I'm just trimming up because sometimes the side pieces that we fold over end up being a little wider. And that's it, okay? Now we're going to take a pencil with no lead. This is a mechanical pencil. You don't need to know it, but you just need some sort of stylus without a very sharp edge. And we're just going to fake the wood grain, okay? When we rub the pencil along the wood grain lines, it will indent the foam board and the contact paper just ever so slightly, so it will create the illusion of wood grain. We already have the optical photographic illusion of wood grain, but then we're going to give it a dimensional look of wood grain. So this is just a little touch, so you can see here, hold on, well, there you go, there you go. So you can see it there, it just gives that little bit of extra, especially since we're going to whitewash this. Now, if you wanted to use the pine contact paper, it is light enough that many of these stickers will show up, but the person that I'm giving this to really likes the whitewash look, and that's what I was trying to go for here. And also, it was I was asked to demonstrate how to whitewash contact paper wood from my country tutorial boxes. Okay, so this is how you do it. So it's just regular white acrylic craft paint, okay, and a dry brush technique. So here I'm just showing you, like, you can do it super light or super heavy. I'm showing you the two sides of the board. And I'm actually testing this myself to see which one would look better under the sticker. Okay? So I did sort of a really heavy look and a really light look. All right? And then you can't really see me do it, but then I peeled up one of the corners of the sticker and held it over the white to see if it would work. Okay? And I said that it looked better over the white dark colored finished. So here I am taking the big board and I'm adding the wood grain. Okay, so you can see it here. It just takes a tiny bit of extra effort, but it really makes the difference between, you're saving, this is a $2 piece of wood. You couldn't even buy this at the scrapyard for $2. Or maybe you could. I shouldn't say that. But so we're going to go ahead and just add some craft paint and a foam brush. And we're going to go ahead and just whitewash it. Now, dry brush technique, if you guys have never done it, that's just a matter of like over brushing paint. Basically, you just, if you were normally trying to paint it with full coverage, you wouldn't just keep brushing it. You would add more product until you get, or extra coats until you get the coverage that you want. But with whitewashing and a dry brush technique, you're going to make it look streaky on purpose. So it's supposed to look aged. You can enhance the knots. You can make it as whitewashed as you want. You can make it as covered as you want. You can make it as woody as you want. It's really totally up to you and the look that you want to achieve, okay? So now I'm just taking the side of the brush and I'm removing some product and adding some product, and I'm just doing it until I get the effect that I like. There was this one spot. Do you see that one spot in that top corner? It just did not want to hold paint. I don't know what I did to it. But I just had to add extra coats is all. But yeah, acrylic paint just does stick to this contact paper. Will it peel? I don't know. Would you wash it off if you scrubbed it? Probably. So if you want to protect it with a clear coat when you're done, you're more than welcome. Okay? So I thought I would get like I like the way that it looks almost like I'm trying to emulate the grain of the wood. So I just hope that I'm doing it enough that the sticker will show up. And again, the different decals from the Dollar Tree will yield different results. Some of the stickers actually have white background. Some of them are a clear background. So when it's a clear background sticker, you're going to have to worry about the background of your wall being light enough to show the decal. And the same thing with this fake board. So now I'm just taking a damp, very barely damp, like I actually use this paper towel to dry my hands, paper towel, and going over and rubbing some extra paint off and just trying to give it more texture and add and remove. This was that one spot. So I don't know if you guys can notice this, some of the grain technique there is making those triangle grain marks. That's sort of, I was trying to go with the grain. Okay. So again, as much as you want, as little as you want, you keep going till you get the effect that you want. And if you want to just paint it, you can. I mean, some of the wood grain will show through, especially the indents we made. But if you're going to do that, you might as well just put it on the foam board. Okay. So now that it's all dry, and I really am apologetic to you guys. Again, I'm having trouble. Why my phone keeps cutting out on the camera, I have no idea. But what I'm doing is I'm finding the center of the board. And then I'm going to, and you can mark it if you guys want to. I just eyeballed it. And then I'm going to stick this sticker on there, and you guys missed the whole thing. And I'm so sorry. But basically, just like you were going to stick the sticker on your wall, you just stick it on the board. You center it. You rub the bubbles out. You go from one side to the next or from the bottom to the top. And this particular one has two straight lines that you butt up to each other. So it was really easy. Now, the only thing that I'm changing about this sticker, first, I shouldn't say the only thing, a couple of things. First thing I'm changing about this sticker is it had gold writing. And gold writing is not the look I was going for. So what I've done is I'm taking my silver paint pen. Now, you guys could be done with the gold writing. That's perfectly 100% fine, with me. You guys, obviously, whatever look you like. Or if you use a different decal, you won't have to do this step. But I'm just going over all of the gold with my silver paint pen, okay? There are some gold circles, some gold dots, and all of the letters. And it's super simple because it is just like following the line. It's already written there, so you don't have to worry about if your handwriting is good. You just have to make sure that you keep your pen steady. Okay, and this is a metallic paint pen, so it will hold and stick to this vinyl very well. Okay, so just all the little added touches. I switched the other side of the table because the light was causing a shadow, and my art teacher, Elaine Kane, taught me when you have trouble, turn around and don't worry about looking at letters, just follow the lines. And the other thing that I did off camera is I took a Sharpie and I enhanced the shadow. I basically traced along the right side and the bottom of all the letters. But here it is finished with the outline, and here it is without the outline, just so you guys can see the comparison. I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial. If you do, give it a thumbs up. Leave any questions in the comments down below. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. And as always, take care, God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye!